their entire roster for this new partnership era.
Right back into the swing of things. DRX starting off on the attacking side. We highlighted the fact that they're running a KO here, not something you see exceptionally often.
We saw last night with Angel playing that. Already some info, but they're trying to get up past this wall, and they'll let him through. FUT in trouble by losing laps, but they still need to fight behind.
Spike down A.
See that Spike sitting there with flash as they try to hold back side. Such a pesky, difficult place to hold. But they're doing it. They've been able to trade 1-for-1 here. Buzz is so weak and RB healthy, having to take a step back. Concerned, paranoid perhaps of the flank. The pressure applied from the extremities. Buzz holding. U-Haul somehow getting away with nothing but a sliver of HP. Being traced and followed. Prowler not quite finding its mark. 2v2. Kiwiwi. RB, he was the healthy one. He's fallen. It's all on to Buzz. And he's gotten it down to 1. The nade right click. The swing out to buy time. He tries to reload. And the timing could not be worse. FUT get the pistol.
Mr. Fallen stays composed, and honestly, DRX take it to them up short so fast. When you're looking at FUT play in the last game, you're seeing how when they have to forced to make decisions, when they're forced to make the decisions, it really is starting to crumble. Where they don't really feel completely satisfied, they don't feel confident in those decisions themselves. Here, it doesn't really feel like DRX gave them the time to fall into those same traps. So not a big fan of that pistol, but still some success points. They got lamps. That may be something that they can work with later on. And also Buzz too.
I was about to say that. Yep.
3 kills for him. I think he's the guy who thinks he has the most pressure out of everybody on this team right now.
Dispatched.
Fallen with the opener. Buzz passing by. You were just talking about the pressure.
Ooh.
Seize is going to be nice, but there's just no follow-up with it.
Yeah, not comboed with anything.
There.
So off of the orb and off of the Seize that they've seen. They hold the line for just a moment. Down long, now funneling out of Octagon. That's going to hurt. That nade backside. He's able to get out because of the stimmy, but Mr. Fallen just swings into his death.
Those are 2 fights that look like they might be dry, but instead there's Util that's forcing them to take the fights.
They flip things. Maj has shown up. Molly at his feet. Momentary delay.
Ooh, the orb too. Not momentary anymore.
Off the nade, Mako's still staying alive. Battered.
23.
Spammed and now bruised. As soon as the orb goes down, vision will be given. Mako on the hold, trying to keep him back, and he cannot. RB still playing with the Sheriff. The reposition is you see them both jump out of hookah. Sidestep, that Molly's gonna help.
That Molly missed, I think.
Did it?
No,
No.
it just barely didn't.
And it's just enough to buy time. Well done.
They let them fall into the classic. DRX ideas. It's constantly in these group stages, just relying on the post plant, relying on the time. Mako held on for so long with this full fueled up orb.
Yeah.
And then RB as well hitting the shots that would have actually provided a pinch on the site from FUT.
All it took was 1, but he hit it.
I'm surprised they got those openings too on the site.
Yeah.
And that hurts, the Red Bull clutch. That hurts.
DRX with 5 rifles in the 3rd round. After losing the pistol, they've been able to equalize.
They always rely, after losing a round like that, on this re-exploration. They did keep the 2 Bulldogs alive. Don't forget that, so this round's still a little bit dangerous. The DRX, full rifles on board.
And for FUT, you saw the intentions at the beginning of the round. Establish showers control, get the orb, and then reset.
Both players spotted, so
Wow.
yeah, they're gonna be able to reset, but DRX is gonna be able to use this timing to take the fight, but he still wins it.
What? And he gets away?
And speaking of the reset happening in showers, DRX completely gave up that space, so Ada Captain fully safe on the other side of the map.
It's just criminal that he's able to do that with the Classic and then survive. The Bulldog now finding it. You mentioned it just a few moments ago. It was preserved from the previous round. And it's finding its mark. Stacks trying to snatch him back into this thing. They still have 2 rifles to play with.
RB went hunting with the spike alone. He was the only person who got past that wall. And then the second player who picked it up ended up dying farther back, but the spike went farther in.
Stacks trying to have to reach his way out of the cover to grab the spike, but instead it's the flash out looking to take the fight, and it's Krax who wins it out.
Jeez. And I was thinking to myself, all of DRX died on that round that they won. They didn't manage to pick up any weapons. So that's a full reset on this eco. Back to back now. That's a huge mistake by RB. Look, Zest picks it up. The spike falls further into the site.
Which is crazy too, considering he was jumping backwards. He was trying to get to safety.
You gotta turn your body after that. So the spike does get thrown back either way. FUT now, I mean, much, much better shape to actually take the anti-eco. Full rifles picked up too, and their bank is huge. So even if they get eco'd here, we're finally gonna have a first gun round after. There are some key ults here close. I mean, there's one. I wasn't even talking about that one.
You were just saying, that's unreal. This is a very good sign for what we're in for. If it's gonna continue to be things like that, where rifles do not matter.
What is going on? And you're looking here, RB's gonna have his no command. Buzz is gonna have, actually he's completely out of the fight. He's close to the showstopper though. I need to see him start to hunt. But they're not sure this round's completely locked up just yet, so getting in good post-plant positions, DRX is very, very good in these spots. Zest has his molly. There's a KO molly as well, Viper molly too. There's no way they're giving this up.
You certainly wouldn't think so, but I also wouldn't think we'd be in this position in the first place. Attic playing on the other side of the wall. He's able to take down one. You see the molly soar across the sky as Captain takes a second. I mean, the Sheriffs might be the MVP of this if this continues. The molly buys time, and that's a third Thrifty in a row.
What is going on in this game? I mean, clearly. Stacks having a giggle. That's terrifying.
It is a little scary.
DRX logo on the dude's face.
Dude, both of them.
Yeah, this is crazy. But clear mistakes, I think, being made.
Wow.
By both sides in the last round, RB going forward. There, not being able to punish Stacks with just a Sheriff. I mean, yeah, he pulled some ridiculous stuff out there, but the reclear with no util. Trying to take the aim duels.
Op in the hands of Kiwi on the defense. You mentioned that regardless of how the previous round ended, we would have a gun round, and that's what we have.
And it's a heavy investment, too.
Yeah, it is.
For some reason, Maj with just a Guardian. Despite having 1.1K, despite Krax being able to drop Bulldogs, that sort of thing. You do have showstoppers both available on both sides. Kiwi with the op, that's a great secondary tool, especially up in a cubby like that.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting too. The Viper wall that they're playing, the one that's not going through showers, when you don't put it through showers, it's because generally the defense wants to hold that line with an op more often than not. But the fact that there was a Trailblazer that just went through there to clear it out kind of spits in the face of all of that, although it seems like now Kiwi wanting to rehold that line and reestablish it, you just don't really have any knowledge of what's on the other side.
Yeah, you can't go deeper, really.
Yeah.
Talking about the reclears that FUT left to do. It's not truly possible. They're going to showstopper out here with the Seekers as well. Buzz ready to go.
Flash, showstopper, 2 done. Buzz looking for the third, but the op finds its mark. It's just momentary, though.
And nobody there to help out to break the Seekers for Kiwi. So even though he gets that shot off, he gets nearsighted by the Seeker hitting him. And we will finally have 2 in a row here for DRX as FUT immediately fall back to save. That's the sort of execute you can't let DRX get.
Right.
And you heard in the teaser there at the beginning, before the teams walked out. You see the round in between. Great showstopper exit, great movement from Buzz too. DRX not chasing at all, by the way. You heard the FUT players talk about how they're very rigid, DRX, in their game plans. I wouldn't agree with that totally up to this point, but that's definitely been the reputation, and it's carried forward.
Yeah.
But that's why right there, those sorts of things. So if you're aware of it, FUT, they've tried to interrupt it with those dry walks, those sort of things. There they had the deep op set up on short, down carpets. The ideas were there, but they gave up the space. They weren't patient enough. I think you stick to that setup the entire time, and you're having great success in that round.
Careful.
A little shower presence for FUT. It looks like they have 3 set up that way.
And remember, they actually did force up around those 2 rifles that they saved.
Kiwi with the Marshall, and that is one of the weapons. Flash gonna get some info. No way to confirm how much is on the other side, though. And FUT gladly just trample forward and take the space.
Again, this is dry completely. They want to take these aim fights. The desk, Ren and Josh were arguing about whether or not that's a good thing for DRX to be relying on, but it's FUT relying on it right now. And so far, it's not really worked out.
Spike currently still sitting towards spawn. Is FUT having cracks rotate B.
DRX are doing a great job denying the information right now.
Yeah.
Forcing that Viper wall to go up, which means you're giving up re-clearing any of that space. That honk gets broken on the other side. Yeah, sure, they know they're defaulting, but they really don't know how to regroup right now. The boombot from Kiwi would be huge right now down short, but again, he's still with that Marshall. So can't spare the time. Off of the sniper.
They figured out where the Marshall is. While they want to funnel their way in through short, Buzz has already taken the line. Kiwi on the other side, and the no-scope land now upgraded to a weapon. Satcheling across, looking for the second. The crosshair was moved just a bit too early.
Had to make a solo play. Stax was coming from behind.
Orbital strike dropped, Zest falling too. Cracks rotating over. Back towards A, where the spike ticks away. Mako not able to land the shots. Tata Captain wins that out. It stacks on the flash and on the swing. You wonder what it is that the play is, because RB's playing so safe, so far off. Having Stax takes the fight by himself, and Tata Captain wins both.
That shot from Kiwi. I mean, just disgusting onto Buzz. And then the rest of the FUT players on the retake coming in very, very strong. No scope, too. Come on. There will be a timeout from DRX actually out of that. Specifically on this map, too. Buzz and RB have traditionally actually swapped which of these guys plays the Rays on this map, especially back in the chamber meta. That was obviously a much more difficult choice back then.
Tata Captain pushed off, and it seems like for the first time this map, there may be some pressure stand. There it is, Zest getting tagged up. He's done, he's dropped.
Great dry swing again. FUT continuing to rely on it, and this time it nets them the kill onto Zest. If they wanted to hit this B site, he's a crucial factor in doing so. If they don't hit before this knife timing from Cracks down short,
Right here.
these FUT players on this side could be very ready for this. They've got a seize too. Molly's still up. That knife just cleared.
Do they rotate off of it? What are the movements from FUT, given the information they just gathered? Tata Captain flashed, naded, trying to tuck. And it's actually off of a molly. Tata Captain gets one back.
They tried to go through with the Viper wall up. That thing does so much damage so fast with the decay too. If you are moving while it pops, you're dead.
No real option to flip. No real option to go forward. FUT hold them back.
This is the best start to a map and a series that FUT have had. We've talked a lot about slow starts for FUT. Against ASE in that first map, it was really bad. Against EG, it was also very, very bad in the first map on Split. It looked like they didn't show up to the server. Today, it's different. And I think it all comes to that pressure being lifted off of them.
Very well, maybe, right? Kiwi seems to be playing loose. He's performing well. Tata Captain is too, which has been more of a constant, oddly enough, but...
I think it just seems like such an insurmountable task to be able to outplace the 3 other EMEA teams in this tournament. Jeez.
Wow. Little things, man, the timing.
He's up to 11.
Kiwi finding the window to take the wide swing and hold that angle during the peak from Zest is just beautiful.
Okay, this is important here for Mako.
Oh. Bigger fromage.
I like that he goes for that lurk. That's something that you can definitely use to interrupt. You saw it work on the pistol with more players behind it. This time he's rushing, though.
Last player standing.
What?
Things are
What is
falling
going
apart
on?
very quickly.
Cracks just one-tap 2 players. Kiwi one-taps Buzz immediately in the beginning of the round, too.
That must have been Prius. Missing the last 2. But again, just surprising, right? Like for DRX, yeah, there was a cheeky play to try to lurk into the smoke and disrupt, as you were saying, but it just feels like the last, 3 rounds, there just hasn't been enough of that flash that we saw at the beginning from DRX.
And you're not seeing as well the players on DRX have the same sort of energy in making individual plays. 12 seconds to hunt RB right now.
10 seconds left.
They're so close.
Can you preserve the gun? No. A prime gaming flawless comes through his foot. Get up 2 rounds.
Tough situation for RB.
Oh yeah, miserable one.
Looked like he activated the exclamation point among all the guards hunting for him. No gun will force a couple players to be very low on this economy. Stax looks stressed, man. We've talked about it a lot. Stax, in terms of his individual performance throughout this season, has been okay. It hasn't been like, you know, mouse kiss Stax action, none of that really. But I think it's very excusable given the situation in front of him. Ult down short.
Oh, there's interesting here. There's not a ton of layer to this. It's just him by himself. There was a Prowler that went the other way, but there wasn't a combo. There wasn't pinned from sand.
Oftentimes when you go that deep, you get stuck.
Yeah.
Stax not confident enough to push up, but he only has the Sheriff.
It worked last time, but not this time. Doesn't even get a chance to shoot it.
Yeah, that's a lack of information for Stax. He thinks there's more behind it, like you said.
Spike down A.
Kiwi able to hold that line and get both. DRX once again thrown into disarray.
I look at the choices being made by DRX, not only in the server, but with bringing in Zest. The kind of mind games they're playing about who's going to play in the starting lineup beforehand. And I'm thinking back to Masters Berlin where they had Lakia on the roster.
Oh, that's a deep cut.
Remaining.
Another prime gaming flawless through for Foot.
It didn't seem like back then anybody was super happy with those decisions being made.
Yeah.
That was their last attempt at a 6-man roster, and it fell flat on its face. They gave up on it after that.
As is often the case.
Lakia didn't even play it the following champ. But may I remind you, Josh brought it up on the desk, that was the only time DRX has not made it out of groups, was Champions 2021, way back in the day. Completely different situation now. At the situation right now. When he's been the most consistent factor so far for DRX in this tournament specifically. Yes, overall too. One of the most storied controllers, but they're not doing anything to interrupt Foot doing this exact thing over and over and over.
Countless amount of rounds now where they send 3 through showers. This time it's a bit of an adjustment because Krax is rotated off, but they've gained the space. And once again, they have them surrounded. They have them corralled and controlled.
They get this position every time with no util.
Yeah, it's just so free. And because DRX don't even have someone holding in spawn, they can't comfortably take teleporter and go back showers. Complete ignorance as to what's on the other side.
Okay. Giving up the site again, though. This time Mako has his ult.
I mean, Foot has 4, though, as a counter.
Nightfall could be huge as well. With the Viper Pit up.
This punch that Foot have to throw back isn't just a jab.
Look at Stax. Traded ults all around right now.
He's gone so far up.
Finished.
It's going to be 1 for 1.
The Molly's gone, though. That Brim ult gone again.
Foot still has so many tools. They have the Robo Strike, that's 1. They have the Pit, they have the Nightfall, 2. Everything dumped into this. Numbers still up. Foot now pushing forward, trying to jump out of the site. And it's Chaotic, Sax, and Mako, the two that remain. The defuse is almost gotten to half, but it's interrupted. Mako, 1v3, and that's the round. FUT get another.
What is going on with DRX? That's 2 rounds in a row now. They get the B site. They should be able to set up very well. We know how good they are in post plans. It's just not working today. Stax there needs to get that kill before Zest falls into his post plant lineup position. Didn't use his ult, didn't use his molly. Mako on the site there is only meant to buy time for that second layer. But it's getting ripped apart before they even get to peel the onion.
Blinded.
Finally, some adaptation. A slightly later flash, but honestly, it doesn't do very much to dissuade.
Kiwi 16-6, by the way, definitely his best performance so far this half. Gonna look like the best half for FUT.
Second flash now, used by Stax, Torch Showers.
Finally, he's looking to stop them from getting that flank off every single time.
And it's nuanced in how he did it. I mentioned earlier, it was a slightly later flash. He'd been using it off the gate. This time, a little bit later, just a few seconds to see if there's anyone coming up, and the second to confirm. But he gives the space back up.
So happy to just take drive fights again, and Buzz is dead.
That nade causing some problems. The Trailblazer out. They have hookah control as well here. It's a little bit of a stronger push, but they can play through the smokes. The toggling of utility is so nice by the controllers. He's gonna try to funnel his way out. Can they hold the line once more? Numbers big for FUT, and they're just getting better.
30 seconds left.
Zest subbed into a 1v4. Face of Showstopper, a Prowler. There's nothing he can do.
A 9-3 half.
Switching sides.
Not what you expected to start off this game. DRX is in big trouble, and the only word I can think of is yikes.
That's just brutal. Next, or what? Because they just look lost.
Fracture's definitely a strength for them, but I'm looking up at them on the stage, and every single player looks detached from the situation right now.
Smoke's down.
Very quiet. Players not, if there is something being said, they're not really paying attention. They're jumping around. Emotionally, I think it's so tough to be in this position, and it's one they know. They've had many, many disappointments. Never this early, though. And when the entire scene is leveling up, you need to be just there with them. And it's a Stax. Calling a stack on the other side of the map at the B side. 4 players on B, 3 down long. Mako alone.
Knife and Haunt both used.
4 people are gonna go through the TP, following up the dog. Yes, this is okay, but Mr. Fallen's already understanding the situation.
And they're just gonna flip the map too.
Okay.
All of FUT go through teleporter, leaving Mr. Fallen to hit what could be a filthy timing. Dissuaded by the wall for just a moment. RB's the only one close by. Yeah, Buzz is in the vicinity, but RB's the one looking at him. They're gonna rotate back A.
30
It's
seconds
crazy.
left.
DRX completely broken on their original idea and what comes in this pistol. Do they even have the ideas to play here?
Knife cleared, Buzz with the spam, pushed off the angle, nade in his face. RB now understanding there is some presence, he gets the kill, the patience pays off. Now with 13 seconds left, the spike still hasn't been sent out. It's still trying to push its way out from short.
10 seconds left.
They're getting the openings. Can Buzz play spoiler in the face of the smoke? He gets the kill, but you're right. Just a little over a second.
And they also have the boombot to help them clear back down short and get into lamps.
DRX need this moment. They need this pistol. Sax needs to convert, and he cannot. FUT up to 10.
Both pistols for FUT. Yeah, they got ecoed last time, but look at this streak of rounds. They're up to 10. 10 rounds with 8 in a row is just ridiculous. And Josh is right, the DRX, or the FUT camp is just so happy right now.
Just lose. All smiles.
Complete shift in what we've been seeing from them at this tournament so far, even in the game that they won yesterday. That's a surprise.
We back to our first half antics here.
Oh, Spike is not picked up right now. Krax has to make a mad dash for it. DRX not taking extra space off of that though. Thinking that they need to get back over towards A to respond to group up rather and make a conceded,
There.
a complete front. Rather than relying on the lurks, which will be split up.
Cracks on the plant. DRX on the attempted retake. They have the Bulldog in the hands of Zest. An interesting decision in and of itself. You see that late Viper Wall go down from Mako. Mr. Fallen with the C's. The timing on that's perfect.
What a seize. That's 3 players all tethered.
The delay is great. Mr. Fallen backing on up. Cracks holding an angle from bench, trying to find another. As the tap has already started, they're overwhelming them. They've gotten it to half. Now the reset, and now the fight. Kiwi on the snap, Kiwi on the shots. He gets 3 on the round, and they asked for it. Where was it coming? It's coming courtesy of Kiwi 1. Killer instinct activated.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Going for the jugular right now. Anti-eco, they lose the first kill. So ready for the sneaky antics of DRX. Honestly, at this point, they're gonna have to rely on stuff like that. It's just stealing the rounds away. Because nothing else is falling for them.
And the
no of the kills.
Concerning thing, too, is it felt like they were trying to do that in the first half.
Yeah.
All right, again, Mako trying to lurk. James bonding, as Josh said.
We're referring to the score line, but you're right. He definitely was trying to get up there.
Prowler in his face. No showers control again. But FUT with a bit more to work with. Silence, and there it is. They tried to use the showstopper buzz. Looking to greet them early. Kiwi, is he gonna find a target? No! The show stopped! Zest with 3, that was clean.
Finally, some life out of the substitution. The 6th man for this team. Honestly, at this point, not even. He's gotten more play time. And then Foxy at these global events. Kiwi really lost in that situation, though.
Yeah.
Not able to find the guy at 2. That should have been the first thing he cleared. Have to swing it back. Have to have a momentum. Lift up here for DRX. And it's got to come from everybody. Mako and Zest in particular, the double controller combination that we were talking about.
Poison's off.
No early space taken from DRX this time. A peek towards showers.
Toxin poison orb.
I mean, even Buzz shallowly holding Hookah. But all of FUT are up A short, and they're trampling their way forward into U-Haul.
Again, that confidence showing. They get through all the way to lamps. No information from DRX until now. That nade gonna force him out of position.
That's a miserable area to hold, man. It's just so difficult. No real room to escape, and he's overwhelmed by the utility.
That's a great follow-up orb there, actually, from Maj. Look how deep it is onto triple. So tough.
That's clearing out the Haunt, clearing out Kiwi. He was hot in the previous round. Can he continue? Stacks falling. RB.
Flash went in the TP.
Yeah, that's not what the intent was. RB with 2. Spam expecting to pre-fire. Buzz finds the timing on Mr. Fallen. It's all Maj by himself. RB's gotten it to half. Maj is healthy! And that's another pivotal round to Red Bull clutch for FUT.
Over and over. You're seeing these close rounds, these close situations fall for FUT. They look great today.
And there's really, to what you were saying, these pivotal situations, not a single one going in favor of DRX. Well, that's not true. I guess I think about Sax and his 2K with the Sheriff in the first half, like that second round.
Every second round.
Other than that,
That strategy can definitely overtake that. Just some good defensive crossfires, for example. Good util combos, but right now, none of that is to be found for DRX. And you also have to find the timings for it, and FUT is playing in such a way that it's tough to find them.
Too suppressed.
Sax on the other side of the smoke, not winning an opener.
Come on, man. There it is again. He just ran through the smoke.
Just dry, just aim diffing, and it's from top to bottom. I mean, yeah, Kiwi's done most of it, but that's the plan for FUT, and it's working.
Even something like that, there's no punish on him being in that corner, no spam to follow up from Mako.
Yep. No help at all. There was a dry fight, that one going in favor of Buzz. It was labored.
Yeah, interesting too. Mosh has been winning a majority of those types of situations, but they're ADS up close. It has to rely on the spray too. Not the type of situation you're looking for.
No.
But either way, like, I think they're chilling here. Regrouping again. They know Buzz is alone on the site.
And he's weak. After that difficult fight, just 32 HP, has a showstopper. Very reminiscent of what we saw just a few moments ago where there was a timing hidden short.
Here it is, dry walk up. Finally a haunt in the back of sight, clears everything.
The knife too, not catching Buzz. Kiwi's looking for it. It's another kill.
Big ults. Zest infesting his, Buzz has his as well. RB with the KO.
10 seconds left.
Spike now down. Side control in favor of FUT for now, but it seems like a weak grip. DRX snatching it out of their hands. Cracks on trade. Showstopper still in play, and it looks like he's trying to hold it. He succeeds. Carries it into the next round.
Crucial to do that sort of thing there. I thought there was a chance for Mosh, final play remaining.
Yeah.
As he was run spraying. If he got that first kill, maybe could have adjusted. Oh, that was a long time for Buzz to be able to readjust and get that kill. The crazy part too is if they didn't throw that Haunt, if they continued to dry walk all the way up, they would have got value. There's no way for them to know completely that Buzz is alone there. But with the amount of space that he took early to take that duel in the first place against Maj, and the original contact that they had over towards B as well.
DRX with a showers push. Mr. Fallen waiting on the other side with the Sheriff. He spot a shoulder there.
And it's just Sheriffs too.
Sheriff's in a classic for Ada Captain.
This can't be the round that DRX lose the map on. They can't lose to a Thrifty.
I mean, given how things started,
Three suppressed.
it would be a fascinating bookend, would it not? Utility primed and invested. See that smoke used. U-Haul control still in favor of FUT. And the consistent contact play just continues. And there you go, RB finding big ones. Looking for the third with the Vandal. Cannot. Kiwi on the trade.
Smoke extends so far out that Zest has an angle to play with too.
Mr. Fallen, potential for a 1v3. As soon as that smoke goes down, the molly follows the spam. Mr. Fallen just unable to get out.
30 seconds left. There.
As time dissipates. Yeah. See if you can find a free one.
Not spammable on that angle.
My ult is ready.
Taking the orb does nothing either if he wants to fall anyways. And he does have to.
10 seconds left.
A formality as the round closes. DRX get up to 6. Yes, it was just Sheriffs, it was just pistols for FUT. But it's those kind of rounds that you need to get through, and you need to get through cleanly, and that's exactly what DRX do.
I think those last two rounds finally are starting to shift in my eyes. The sort of form that DRX is showing up with. It's improving, but slowly. RB coming up. There's been a couple of multi-kills. To build that confidence back up, it needs to be coming through consistently. It's a map that they've been struggling with over and over Back in Pacific.
Oh, they're going.
It's so slow. What?
And it's canceled.
You know he has the ult.
He's perhaps just guessing on where he might be. I don't know.
I mean, he messed up the satchel there, it looked like. That needs to be an instant shot out when the KO ult is up.
Off the exchange of ultimates, FUT reset. And as we've seen before, it's just context, it's just try. They want to go up short. Now Nightfall used. It's gonna attack 2 if I'm not mistaken. Kiwi with the kill with the nade.
How many paint shell kills is he gonna get?
Too many. Too many, more than he should.
Big follow-up ults here for FUT as well. There's one used.
Trying to go up top. I mean, we're just getting teased with these showstoppers not going off. Mako and RB holding it back. They can still do this. This is a 2v2. Spike in hand. Yeah, 35 seconds left. RB could be rezzed.
30 seconds left.
Is that going to bait the swing out? Sax is creeping forward, but he's flashed.
Last player.
It's all on to Cracks, and Stax gets 2. Somehow, DRX have gotten up to 7.
Where is this sort of thing coming from finally from DRX? I love that final play, tapping the pickup on the KO downed. Stax creeps up close. He's not affected by that flash. And the Nightfall there. In between timings where Zest has to put down his smoke, it's impossible for him to get away from the nade. And Stax with the finishing. Touches on that one though. Back into the round. Much quicker approach here from FUT.
I think it's just exploratory, though. The spike is just now being scooped up. Maj has already fallen.
Maj just tried to spam down short through the orb.
FUT once again calling breaks on the situation. Leaving Kiwi as the trap. It's just the Sheriff.
Does spot them, falls off of it. Very clean so far against this light buy. And they have completely reset the ult cycle for FUT. They thought they were about to end the game last round. Remember, that showstopper was used, Brim ult was used, Nightfall was used. Maj still has his pit. But other than that, it's fully dry.
It's a nice one out with a Singer onto Stax. Still 4 rifles remain for DRX.
30 seconds left.
Buzz with another, the deep nade, unaware of the fact that captain's up close, but it does not matter.
Toxin screen down.
Another round for DRX.
Michael might have known he was in that corner. That's why he puts the wall down, and he's happy to hold that.
Yeah.
It's a dual angle hold too, against the long peak or the person who's stuck in that. As long as he's not on the right. Again, well done from all of us. You saw the spam at the beginning of the round, taking down Maj. It is only that pit to deal with, and DRX will start to get even tools, like the Seekers online, to help against that. A counter pit as well if they ever do give up the site. So far, it's not really falling for them.
4 rounds in a row for the defense, 5 of the last 6. The attempted ferocious comeback continues.
Ooh, going out.
Fallen getting pushed off, and he's dead.
There's the little microaggression that you need to start punishing these dry walks from FUT. You are forcing depth to come out of FUT strap hook now. Absolutely. Seekers pops. That scares me a little bit. There's no more tool to force against this Viper's pit if it does get used.
Remember how good Buzz was in the previous round. Still alive, still healthy. It seems like they may be pushing into him. Whether or not they commit on the safe short hit.
Looks like they're marking to Farhan when Mr. Fallen's dead.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Oh, that's up close! Buzz with another! Buzz with 2! You believe yet?
It might be happening. streak of 5. This is supposed to be FUT's better side. They started off by getting up to match point. It was 12-4. I think everybody's starting to hold their breath for this. I think DRX knows it's actually possible now. A tone shift in the last few rounds. Even at the beginning of any single one of these rounds that they won. Multi-kill, multi-kill, multi-kill.
They've changed their setup just a little bit. Buzz is playing up top, and it's actually Zest who's holding U-Haul. The slow, methodical approach might be the answer this time, maybe? Maybe it's the pistols, or perhaps it's just going to be more DRX just cleaning him up. Flash out of the smoke as he tries to tuck into bench, and he's caught. That's a weapon in the hands of Kiwi. Zest tucking. They've lost showers. Kiwi's so weak, and Zest knows he's passed right by the Roomba.
Oh my goodness.
But Kiwi's still running away. Paranoid of the pressure. Zest giving up the exploratory efforts at the worst possible time.
They're gonna need to smoke the spike and start to try to get a defuse going. Force them to come out of their hiding holes. Pit available for Mako, that could help.
8 HP. I mean, do you invest it here? Knowing was potentially, it's safe to spam, and another kill for Mako. 8 HP, 8 bullets, Stacks in half. He has to pull off. Can Stacks do a 1v3 by himself? He's trying to get knifed, and he cannot. Of course, it's a Thrifty that closes map 1. FUT walk away with the win, 13-9.
Right as you believed. The top of their list.
Fortunately for them, on the attacking side, they can dictate some of that pace, or at least influence it more than they would otherwise. And that pace, while currently not ferocious, is headed towards B.
These 2 nano swarms actually posted up to deny both plants. If Kiwi's too fast, he won't break them, but he actually finds the one on top of the box.
Yeah, one gone, the other used.
That's kind of crazy from him.
Dude, they're going to have so much time to get into post-plane positions.
Look at this triple flank coming in from DRX, though. You're right. They're going to have time to get into post plants, but Krax is the only player here to receive it. Almost gets stunned up.
Oh, Kiwi is joined.
He just got self-stunned.
Yeah, certainly not the intent.
They're blocking each other now.
Playing closer. The spacing is not great. Pacing on it's a bit more labor, too. Mako with another. And now they funnel forward. 3 remain for the attacking side. And it's been equalized at 3. He Stacks so weak, he still gets a kill onto the opposing Sentinel. Buzz has gotten it half, 3/4 of the way. He's just gonna hold it. And that's exactly what he does.
That's just crazy there. Both of the players up in tower, they get aftershocked off. They have no chance of finding that spam while smoked up with the elevation differences, all of it. Crazy part here, I think RB was trying to let himself die. Obviously, he's going to look for the kills, but allow the 2 players who are flanking with him to not be spotted so that they can surprise him again. But Maj with the underpass flank cancels that, still allows that defuse to start very early.
You mentioned the need for FUT to avoid a slow start. Find themselves down 1, not really investing into this next round. While DRX have Bulldogs, I mean, across the board.
Haunt held as well for the players inside of halls there. Pretty good setup. Out of Captain, going to start farming up these orbs. You can get plenty on this specific round here.
I believe they've already gotten 2.
The dish one, the arcade one, they're going to stop at this point. Let's go for the exec.
Yeah, not wanting min-max any further, they start to funnel their way forward out. Remember, the lighter weaponry that they have, how do they manage the disadvantage? So far, they cannot. Buzz has already gotten 2. Mako tucking into the smoke, Stacks popping back out, and he's paying for it with his life. Mako now holding the angle. You see the haunt.
30
Spike
seconds.
rotating back up, and it's going to be Buzz to receive. Here's him running. Blows off a kneecap and blows off a head. Buzz with 4.
And here's that point where it either becomes a slow start from FUT or they start to clap back. This is DRX's pick. We've seen so many successes from them on this map. The way they play it is unique as well.
Placing swarm grenade.
A lot of times you saw the fade only being used when it was like the Omen from Na'Vi way back when. They really reinvented this sort of idea. The fade neon. Other teams have been bringing in the fade as well, just really unique haunts to be found. FUT with indecision there, you can tell. You saw the Kiwi wanted to go into halls there with a flash from Crocs, but Mr. Fallen already walking the other way. Leading his team towards this B site. Buzz 5-0 so far.
A heater of a start, especially given the performance he had on the first map too. He's just picking up right where he left off. Sun's out, and again, it's delay.
That's great from him, finding the gap between the stuns too. Fantastic prep against this Neon. By the way, you can play on site right now, not worried about arcade, not worried about tower because of that Molly alarm bot setup.
If FUT end B here, Maj is in a position to potentially push to spawn. All right, I wonder how much of that that's going to draw back. Stacks is down, Buzz swinging in. He has two served up right in front of him, but he couldn't see any of them. RB looking to cut off the rotations, and it's Cracks who drops him.
Now Ada Captain has his ult too.
30 seconds left.
Maj holding any rotation into the side, not anymore. 25 seconds too.
Orbital strike drops, yes, 85 HP. Kiwi cleans him up, that's a spike down. Mako not able to hold.
He was on the line, but I love that reactive ult from Ada Captain. Knows that he's gonna go for the gun, knows that he needs to hold that space, either to push him deep into dish, so that they can get the site, they can get the plant, or to force him to fight them while he's still alone on the site. If RB gets two there, that's a different situation. So DRX still had that in their hands. Full light armor across the board too for DRX.
I'm out of here.
This trade of relay bolts, the stuns from the Neons,
And the knife from Cracks too.
so important.
Yeah.
To earn that early space, DRX wins the battle.
Right there.
And right back to Buzz. I mean, this feels like the same situation that we had in the last round, but there's a deeper alarm bot here, and Buzz will not have the freedom to give up off of tower because that alarm bot again. Deep into tree.
For FUT, it's a different approach too. They take underpass, go to the northern side, and want to split it a little bit harder. And here they find their space. The thing is, you have Buzz who's still playing up in tower, and they have to clear it, they have to check it. It's well considered by Maj. Off of the neural theft, Ada Captain does get the spike down. And there's just way too much for Stacks to handle. Do they just cut losses here? Do they rotate off? Mako's the only one who's still alive. Zest was up a moment ago. It was equally unwinnable fight.
That's tough. That flash from Stacks intended to help RB continue to flank onto tree. Two rounds in a row now for DRX, lost.
Caution here.
It's funny because I said emphasis needs to be here for FUT to stop a slow start from happening. I definitely think that's achieved already. But on the flip side, DRX needed to stomp on this map, I feel like.
Hot shot.
Need to bring the same energy that we saw from FUT in that first half on Bind. Here on the Fracture. Especially if they manage to bring it to a map 3.
Remember again, the owner of DRX with a foreboding, it's our turn. Brimming with confidence, and so far it just hasn't really met that expectation.
I would be confident too with DRX's record on this map. But I wouldn't be confident after watching that Bind. I don't know how you can flip your mind after it.
Launching smoke.
An attempt must be made. You see that early space denied from DRX off the stun and the brim smoke too.
I really wonder what Termi was actually thinking backstage when he was speaking with his team in between maps. when he spoke to Yinsu. Good trade right there, but when he spoke to Yinsu, that did not give confidence to the desk, and I agree with him. It's just so crazy.
I mean, Bren was calling to audit the man's finances.
The term he slander when the guy's a legend, but realistically, everything so far this season has put into question some of the decisions being made.
Right there.
An opportunity here, though, for DRX to silence the questions, at least temporarily. Get to a map 3. This is where they wanted to be. This is the setting that they chose. And they find themselves tied up too early. On a light buy with no real ability to convert. The thrifties that came in droves on bind, not found here.
Spike planted.
I want to see a shift of the setup now. Buzz has been playing on this side over and over and over. Some of the similar situations. Nanoswarms on one side. It's getting exposed right now, allowing Maj full control of Arcade multiple times. That execute that FUT has been relying on now. Multiple successes. Even in the round where they swapped over towards A, they got success on B before heading back. I'm going to see Mako getting onto that side, anchoring with Buzz. Holding on against the Neon.
That was how they were currently set up right before heading into this timeout, which DRX has called. We'll see if there are any adjustments on the opposite side of this.
Much early in that first half. The strategic shifts have not been there, and I don't think they're there again. This time it's Arcade control rather than Halls, rather than A main. But the setup on B where they've been getting exposed is the same.
Maybe just a bit more spread out as far as the utility that he's invested, but you're right.
Yeah, he put the Nanoswarm on Arcade entrance instead. Mako on the site this time.
Kiwi's pushed his way into Canteen to cut off the rotations, and he could be the linchpin on it. A 1-for-1, but the damage done.
Only one smoke from Ada Captain too, and yeah, this pivot. Mr. Fallen, or excuse me, Stax is really concerned about more players coming through Canteen right now, but there is nobody there, which leaves RB alone on this site. Still 2 stuns, can delay for quite some time.
There's the first, and there's the second. The delay done, the Rolling Thunder invested, and that's gonna hit them all.
Nobody can follow up on the stuns right now. There's 3 players stuck in halls.
They don't have dish control either. Maj is posted up there right now. Providing cover, Stax flash on the turn, tries to get the shots, he cannot.
Cage trigger. Cage trigger.
It's another clean roundup from FUT.
My ult's ready.
Gun here.
And that indecision from Stax there. The IGL who's usually so confident in the calls that he's making. Not sure about what came through on that B site. Buzz and Mako not communicating effectively towards him. Watch. Kiwi comes through, the only player there, Zest, who dies to him. Not able to actually confirm any extra info. So Stax stays off. That breach ult is great for RB to follow up on in the site. But it's the FUT players who just sit there. They're chilling. That breach ult didn't do anything to them. They get the kill first. Full control, no need to even hunt Buzz right now.
One maybe saving grace is for Buzz. He has the lockdown going into the next round. Maybe they try to play around that. But they do just look disjointed, discombobulated.
Swarm grenade.
Feeling the same sort of pains that they might have been feeling on Bind at the beginning of that game. Finally, stun to control here on Tree. This could do damage. Double stun connected.
But only 1 kill found.
The follow-up from Stax doesn't work out either. Buzz again in trouble alone.
Has utility to delay.
Kiwi still up to help in this fight.
There's the first nano, and it's a pinch. They're rotating in from the southern side. They've got him boxed in.
He's looking though, Ada Captain ready for it.
Ada Captain the first to fall. Buzz on the swing. The timing is great. Mr. Fallen joins him.
Lock this way.
But Kiwi finding the space to open the site. The problem is the spike's out of reach.
Look at Maj. He's instantly going down underpass. Mako's already aware of it, but Mako has not been great this game. Maj has been fantastic at these peaks. If they can find the timing together.
Maybe Zest gets the kill. Kiwi left alone.
He's gonna run all the way arcade? No.
Managed to get the spike, and he's gotten it down into a 1v2.
That haunt
Close
hurts.
plant situation, but you're right, the haunt was the issue.
Way on high. Finally controlled there. And that should have actually gone horrible in my mind. After Stacks and RB both fall, only finding one kill in that situation, that tree push. Right here, Out of Captain getting both of them with Mr. Fallen combining.
적군이 한 명 발견.
That haunt was filthy.
I mean, when you're planning, you can't do anything to break it. You probably couldn't even see it on your screen there.
No,
That thing was
probably
so high.
Just an auditory tease that death was impending. FUT still hang on to a lead here. They have the Rolling Thunder and they have the Orbital Strike from Out of Captain. Tools here. Big ones on the attacking side. And another hit towards B. Nightfall used though. You see Judge getting value in the hands of Buzz. Mako with the ult, but Kiwi with the swing.
Somehow got through that smoke is Zest deep, RB flanking as well.
Yeah, he just got hit by a trip though.
Look at Maj. He's gonna be way too late. Util out though, cracks.
Surely you consider the positioning there. They've taken the site back, they've taken the space.
Oh, it's not planted for them
No,
whatsoever.
they
No
don't have
Util
lineup.
to deny this. It's over.
One enemy remaining.
What a call! Thrown asunder under the blunder of their own fumble.
What's that? 2 people caught out with Util there. Okay, we got behind. 2 people in that smoke. And DRX holding on for now. Still not pretty though. FUT need to continue extending this lead. They're definitely in better form right now. Definitely, without a doubt.
Agreed.
And up 1-0 right now. They cannot let that form slip.
Remember, there have been so many instances where they've tested the waters towards A, towards Halls, off of the knife, off of the stuns, but then they reset and hit B. Is this the first time they push the pace? Space garnered by FUT.
I think in this case, you actually want Maj to take some contact here to make it look like they're still hitting towards B.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
then strike out of A. I don't think that's the plan. Instead of Sand Crunch.
And there's no concealing this at all.
This works just as well, though. Execution, where's it at?
You have 2 on site, and the orbital strike should separate. It does. Maj not able to find a second. As Sax is on their trade, Buzz, who's going to be rotating so late, still has that lockdown to play around. So if they commit to the site, they're going to have him trapped in.
Remember, Out of Captain just uses Brim ult 2, can't break it.
No Halls control for FUT. What's the play? How did they commit? Krax has been spotted. He was stunned, and now dead.
Here it is, inside of Sand. They're not using it!
3v3 here, and it instantly falls apart.
Why are they peeking there? That lockdown inside of Sand, I mean, they don't have Halls control, but I'm not sure what they think is going on there. You get deep into Sand, you put that lockdown down, that covers all of site. That covers so much of Halls, too.
Maybe it was just the paranoia that they didn't have Halls control, but
It must be.
Bir düşman kaldı.
I think it might just be 2 players deciding to peek before the calls come through. Just miscommunication.
possibly.
I think that has to be what it is.
Broken by for the defensive side, just a Bucky in the hands of Buzz. Early space taken away from DRX.
Now look at that space they have in Tree. But with that smoke, I mean, it's a given what's going on right now. It's fully understood.
Attacking side all rotating over, and
Oh my goodness.
they thought they had a trap set up. RB uses the ult.
Bomb grenade out.
Oh, and it gets tagged too. He had a judge in the last round. It must be considered the shotgun.
He's playing up in tower. He's got utility to
It's gonna run out, yeah.
provide cover.
Ult's
You can
gone.
tell he was tempted. He wanted to push out through that smoke.
That would have been an awful decision with what we know on the minimap right now.
They're gonna funnel their way out. RB has a chance to play spoiler, but he's sectioned off and he's dead. Only taking one with him. Mako on the swing. Buzz finding value with it.
Oh gosh.
Zest is still here. He's playing far off. All he has is a classic though, and the classic works! Buzz with 3, and we're tied at 5.
Yeah, that's fun. Little Bucky action up in tower. That's long range too. Oh, he's running through a molly as well. That's brutal.
So much damage done with that Bucky. Even the dink to set up the last kill with the classic.
FUT are letting this slip right now. Entire series, he's not having the same magical moments that he had against ASC. Even against EG, he had a couple. For the most storied and successful controller in the world, bar none. Shocking.
It's the same hit. Kiwi's through again. This time not cutting off any rotations. There were none to be had.
I don't think that turret even spotted right now.
Which is interesting because they should have heard it go off. Mako trying to anchor between him and the turret. Adcapto's caught in a hard place. Mako looking for another, not able to clean Kiwi up.
One enemy remaining.
Spam just not landing, but that's all right because Krax was there to save it.
Kiwi's still hunting.
Planted.
RB getting real close to attempting this 1v4, but oh no. He's going for the knife.
Got a knife? What kind of skin
The
is there on the
stun
knife?
too to try to catch him.
What's the skin on the knife? Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
It's over. When the knife comes out, oh no. Poor guy. I see RB's reaction to that. It's gotta be an absolute jump scare.
Robbed of it. FUT hanging on to 1-round lead late in the first half. 4 ults to work with. While DRX only have 1, and that's Buzz's lockdown.
One suppressed.
A knife that we've seen a couple of times, only tagging RB as we've seen before.
Oh, interesting, actually. The only person without an ult, but still collecting the orb.
Yeah, they're gonna make a run at it. Get ever closer.
Does have the spike as well, so I mean, 2 kills for him, that's it. Kiwi going for the neon. Ult slides in, gets canceled, deleted. But everybody playing off-site. Buzz not even here, remember, he's been there every single time.
Stax managed to get his Rolling Thunder here, so they have 2 big ults.
This is odd too. Buzz is gonna get into position to use the lockdown, but they do have the Brim ult to cancel it.
And Maj is already down there. They wanted to go an underpass, but there it is. Orbital Strike, Rolling Thunder, and Lockdown all invested almost simultaneously. Lockdown's cleared. Zest on the swing, 10 HP.
Already defusing.
He's already gotten it to half. That's huge. In the face of the Molly, stays alive.
Still an aftershock for Mr. Fallen too.
They're both so weak. Maj on the swing, and he's found. Spotted. There's the aftershock that you were just mentioning. Now the fall line, the swing is there. RB's already gotten it, and Zest is gonna hold it the whole way. Tied at 6. What a half that was.
It's crazy to me that it's even this close. Last game, I felt very similar about the way that FUT was playing. And DRX uninspired. But instead, we get this tie game. DRX's home ground. They definitely have a chance. And when facing elimination, doesn't happen that often to DRX. Late in the tournaments is when that occurs. But right now, for the first time in a year, to lose out in group stages, and that's all Brent said on just chaos, the injection of Korean ranked in some of those situations. 2 rounds that definitely shouldn't have gone their way. Could have looked at an 8-4 half instead. But it did land in favor of them, and now, oh my goodness. RB's so quick.
So confident, but
right back.
Kiwi's even more.
It's just crazy. Love it. We just mentioned the Neon versus Neon battle.
Fallen looking to deal some damage, but it's actually Stax who walks away with 2.
That's the classic foot play right there. Just going right up for the recontact.
I mean, we saw it so many times on Bind, how effective it was.
Spike planted.
But now Maj is left standing all on his own.
Been a pistol demon.
He's gonna have to summon something insane to pull off a 1v4 like this.
Yeah. Counter sets, or excuse me, Paper Thin's little DRX pentagram.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pistol round 2, so not even a chance of a ninja. With the door opening, he's confused as to what the situation even is. He's just looking for kills at this point. Yo, let's get that Cypher ult on board. How about that? Nice close from Stax. Look at the ult points.
I was about to say, you talk about getting an ult online. Stax has already gotten, what, 5?
Holy moly.
That was such a Neon play. Stunned in the face, just saw a member die. I'm taking the fight.
So you got the orb plus the plant plus 3 kills, 5 points. 3 more to go. He's gonna have it in that 3rd round, almost certainly.
Yeah,
As you're looking at an anti-eco where they have plenty of time to collect those orbs.
yeah, I wonder here if DRX adjusts the plan to start funneling orbs into him.
Oh, absolutely, but love what FUT are doing, actually. Taking the space, taking at least one of those orbs away. Wouldn't be surprised not to see him actually take this site, but does have that spike, so at the very least, he'll end this round 1 away. Unless the FUT rotation comes in.
I mean, it's hot to trot. They're taking some space mid, and then Buzz on the northern side. Do you get out or do you fight? He chooses to evade and flee.
Man, I'd be taking those anti-eco kills. Buzz knows, though. He's got to stick with the discipline.
That's why he's
Show respect.
That's why he's on the stage in Europe here. DRX get out onto the site. They should be able to get the spike down. FUT with just pistols. Gonna have to attempt this retake in a 5v5 brawl.
I mean, the normal situation here would be for FUT to stay way back and spawn. Not give up anything, because I think you should be pressing tab, checking the ult points for Stax. He's 1 away. They're getting up close, though. They're going to give him a fight.
Stax is only 1 far off, though. Buzz has already gotten 2. Make that 3. Now Stax showing, looking for some of his own. He just wants 1. Is he going to find it?
No, Buzz, chill.
Nope.
Interesting. Very interesting. Going on the bonus right now is 3 Bulldogs carried over. That's pretty good. And a full buy coming in from FUT. I don't think I expected them to go that deep onto the site right there with just the pistols, but you've had such success from both sides on the thrifty rounds. Ooh, Molly already being lined up for tower. This is the classic DRX, but a strategy that was being used against them by ASE so often.
They're so fast. Everything is pacey, and it nets him a kill. But the pace is injected right back as the defense holds the line. Still with that, though, the spike out of reach currently. Picked up by Mako.
These guys are just getting spammed through. Almost all the kills in the last 3 did not come with sight.
Mr. Fallen, 1v2, not able to convert. Mako cleans him up. DRX get to 9.
That's huge. It's crazy to think that execute, which worked so well to actually push Cracks. Cracks jumped through that entire molly, died as the players came through arcade, but then FUT somehow clawed their way back into that situation. And converting the bonus right now. DRX looked to put this game away. Brent said they were favored on this half. I would definitely agree with them. But with the form that they've shown so far, I didn't expect it to come super fast. Oh gosh.
Much like that round. Starting right off the bat with the kill.
Remember, Buzz was playing so far back last time, off the turret to take the rope. This time, not even considering the fact that they could push him.
Oh, Maj was in such a good position, but RB wise to it. Swings out from Sand, cleans him up. And that was the last line of defense that they had on site proper.
And falling back into post plants. No need to stress anything right now. RB, the only player on the site. He's got a wall to play around.
There.
You heard Termy talk about how to get in the post plants. That was the problem for them, was in these situations on Bind, but I agree with Brent. It wasn't even that. They couldn't even get in these post plants. It's stuff like this that interrupts them. Mako's Molly is out.
It's a 2v2 here. Krax has picked up a weapon. Time is short.
Last player standing.
Why, he just turned on Mako.
Woo!
Crazy! Oh, not at the same time.
It's close, but they've got it.
It should. A thrifty round for FUT, and I was actually just thinking, man, it feels like momentum has so quickly been deflated out from FUT. What an injection. I need to see Krax turn on Mako. That was happened off screen, but
Let's see the shot.
that's that one. That one's the easy one.
And this is...
Right.
That's disgusting.
How did you see him, bro?
What are you talking about? One shot? He's just like, let's click. That might have been a misclick. Literally might have been a misclick. That's crazy. That could have been the turning point of this game.
Yep. A pivotal round
Placing swarm grenade.
for the defense in the hopes of a 2-0. Slowly working their way back to life.
Not just any 2-0-2, a 2-0 against DRX to send them out of groups.
I mean, you can't hear a thing on the map right now. Nothing but a giant, quiet jump spot.
Off your feet!
And that is how things erupt. The Rolling Thunder, RB with the wall up, and it's Buzz who gets the kill. Pushing forward, trying to get value with the Suns, but it's Krax who stays alive! Filthy has a chance for the third, but no.
Got the brim ult here. Could catch something else.
There's a spike. Add a captain holding for now.
Oh, he tapped to try to bait it out.
It never came. How do they go about this?
Flash out.
Sacks on the flash. Note how weak he is. 54 HP. Had to take out a captain down. Cannot. 2v2 now. Now ult invested. And that's going to keep RB at bay for now. Suck on the outside looking in. He's healthy. He's got ult. Dares challenge. And now the captain holds him back.
DRX had that round. They had it, 2v3.
And that's 2 rounds in a row that they had.
The grip on the map, their choice. It's fallen out. What a round from Ada Captain, too. The perfect opportunity to use his ult. You thought maybe to deny the plant? No, he uses it to section off the post plant. He knows DRX has been struggling. RB is not a factor in that at all. And I think Zest in Arcade doesn't realize that he's not going to have help on that cross. And he fights alone while RB is sectioned away.
Right there.
On buy
Right
coming
there.
in. Buzz doesn't even know what to buy. On this attack side, it's not going to be the judge. Stinger up, Vandal up. Little light buy in.
And pace forward. You see the Haunt tagging Maj.
I mean, love this position from the two players who are actually holding on A. No, they're not going to be able to fight the site, but holding on to drop right now with this breach hold in position is huge.
Right there.
They're going to get by some time for Kiwi to rotate to the southern side.
That breach hold gone just by spam. So all of a sudden,
They have some tools still. Remember, the Thrifties have come in bunches this series. There's another opportunity at one here. Kiwi not finding anything yet. The stun.
try to pinch halls.
Threat. And now the neural theft.
Dude's flying.
Maj has already gotten 2.
KO will come in too. Mako can't use his brim ult.
No, they can just bully him. He's tucking tail and trying to run away. Swings out at just the right time, looking for the second, not converted. Zest left alone, nothing but a sheriff. Finds one.
Time.
He's got a gun, he's got spam! No!
Doesn't get the half!
No way! What a play! The Red Bull clutch!
And the target switch too! He was aiming at the other player, didn't even think to go for the spike until the last second there. That is just crazy. What a retake from the FUT players. But what a clutch.
Bir düşman kaldı.
Out of Zest. What a clutch. That's the guy who wasn't playing in the first two series from DRX. Look at this flash. They're going to go for a north side push. Out of Kiwi with the ult.
There are two here. Zest flashed, couldn't see a thing.
Reminiscent of that round that they closed out against ASC. Underpass control though.
Yeah, well done by RB to fill that space. Fight back a little bit on the crunch.
Nanoswarm to delay the fight against this ult. They're gonna go for it still.
Flash, and they're just tanking the damage. Buzz glad to take one with them, jumping out with the shorty and finding the kill on a Kiwi.
And what a strange decision for FUT. Nobody was gonna get locked down, detained from that. They could have just stayed out. How's that work? Whoa. Still gets the kill.
The potential for a Maj 1v3 on the cards. Molly swinging by. RB found. But it's just a tease.
Yeah. Marco has ult too. RB does a great job to fall off. And DRX gonna get up to 11. Great response from DRX, instantly recognizing that that north side push was coming in. They sure lose one player in Zest. And then they fight back into underpass. And they're comfortably controlling this situation.
This was a fun, obviously, Buzz getting a kill there, but it was all set up off of RB filling in that space. So the understanding of the timing to fill there, be able to set up to get the lockdown through. Just very well done.
You either got to commit to that full north side pinch, or you have to have a follow-up plan to deal with underpass. Either controlling tree or at least having somebody posted up on that line. FUT again forced back to Eco. Light buy, they've got that Phantom Fromage that's saved over. Consider that round, remember, 2 rounds ago where they won that clutch by Zest, where Mr. Fallen had the position to ult onto site. He still hasn't used it. Looks like he set up for a stun off the camera to peek out of tower.
Couple of bullets traded early, but really silence otherwise. Now broken by the taking of the ropes and the hit towards A. RB the first, following the Prowler, getting the kill onto Captain and looking for more.
Awesome stuff from RB.
Wow, still alive.
Beautiful execute from DRX. They have full Hawks control, but they still want to go for a Sands push. RB uses his wall on the other side, out of halls, to actually section it off so he can fight Sand without any of the players on site being there. And the timing is perfect. He cleans up to 2 first kills, and then has to fight the guy on site as the wall falls. Perfect anti-eco. Buzz is hunting the gun. Maj should be saving this. Mr. Fallen should be challenging.
Blinding.
He's posted up just on the other side of the door, and it seems like that Fallen's gonna push him off. The flash to counter, and he's dead.
Full blind though.
Yeah.
Here comes Buzz.
Remember, the only weapon that they
RB2.
had. 40 HP. Is he gonna get there in time?
Oh, he hears him now, so it should be okay. Maj.
Staying alive. Wow. DRX, either way, win the last 3 rounds. They have 4 ults to their name, and they get to map point.
And again, I mean, this is the wall I'm talking about, right? He uses it out of halls. Timing so good on this hit. Stuns coming in as that wall falls as well. I'd love to see that on a gun round.
Yes, this should do. That goes there.
Talked about how impressive RB's Neon has been on this map throughout time. Now again, relying on it. Here's that execute. The 1-4 split.
Launching smoke.
to take up into towers. But it's a full fake. What a call out from Stacks. Everybody on foot has bit.
They may have caught it early, though. I don't know if it was the fact that the rope went off, but you're already starting the rotates come through.
Ooh, they don't have Hall's control, and they're not on site. So yes, they might have bought that fake. Ooh, the double flank.
RB is behind Kiwi right now.
Can he get his revenge? Backstab with the Vandal. No time for the knife, of course.
Add a Captain, Mr. Fallen, both with ults. Big ones. The first used, and it's traded right back. Now that all that's out of the way, they still have 3 ults on the side of DRX.
Counter breach ult coming.
I mean, they've got him primed and ready to go. How on earth do you navigate everything that they're throwing at you? A kill like that is certainly going to help. It's Zest on the equalizer. Orbital strike dropped. Fire falling from the skies. As it's only one left on defense. Mr. Fallen. Can he keep the map alive? 1v2. Mako creeping forward. Assassination style takes us to Haven.
Just too much to deal.
Attacking side, they run the Gecko, which has just fallen out of favor for most, but they still believe in it. They still continue to run this comp. We'll see if they can find success against DRX here. Because it seems like they're expecting aggression, and honestly, FUT are right. DRX have already sent 2 down mid. There's a setup for Stacks to hit with the fault line too. He can provide support from B.
For Mr. Fallen to expect that angle out of Buzz is crazy. But Buzz does get the better of him in terms of HP. It's dry walks from both sides now.
It just feels like it's just going to be so much poking and prodding from both sides. You're right. Contacts, dry walk, see what you can find. The shock dart just a little off. But the fear is instilled.
I mean, he's low HP. One tap will do it. So that's why he's so scared.
The alarm bot cutting things off, but it's a 4-player flank from DRX. Maj is only going to have to deal with 2, but he might have his hands full anyway. Yep. Mako clean. How much more can they find as Buzz gets a second, trying to spam through, and that's, you can't ask for much more of a retake for DRX.
That dart is perfect out of Zest. And the pressure too much for them to even deal with that dart at all. Buzz with the dash into a smoke as well out of long. That is really, really nicely done. 4-person flanks. That's crazy, isn't it?
It's bold.
And with the space that they had at the beginning of the map, yeah, sure, take that space, go for it. Go extra. Mosh had a lot of work to do. Krax was completely stunned up, couldn't really deal and help with him. Not only is that dart lighting everybody up, but it's also lighting up the players down in hell.
Yeah, that dart was beautiful.
So good out of Zest. They're getting going early.
It's exactly what they need, and you talk about getting going early. A Vandal in the hands of Buzz, round 2. Doesn't look like he's going to be tested. As FUT with their 5 pistols towards Garage for now.
Traded stuns. What is that? Turret's not even broken yet, but it does allow Krax to take down RB. Breaks up the crossfire. Or creates a crossfire, I should say. Mako here to hold on.
Mako's playing a mini game, having to shoot all utility out from the skies, from the floor beneath him. Somehow still staying around. Zest swinging through, and that should clean things up.
Scratching my head at that smoke. For Mr. Fallen on spawn. They give so much room for the DRX players who were already within it to pounce out of it. Yeah, it's anti-eco though, not the biggest of deals. DRX expected to convert. You're right though, Mako. That's the key thing with this Gecko composition, with Gecko compositions in general. You want to try to combine it with shootable utility. The thing for him is, and for FUT, it's surprising, but the only real thing is the util out from Krax. They try to combine it with nano swarms for Maj, but mostly just to try to land the nano. Not necessarily to get the flash off. I'm surprised at the amount of success that FUT have gotten with that fact. 4-2 on this map. It's a good map for them.
we see some of that utility combined with the aftershock and the dizzy.
Clears the complete left side of that site, so Mako has to play on the right. Smoke gonna be up soon.
And he's just gonna fill in the space that they thought was cleared. He tucks right back behind it. And he has a teleport. He can get out if he feels too much pressure.
Now RB up close now. They're gonna try to fight together.
With the Bucky right out of the smoke, he's paranoid, but the wingman doesn't spot him. He doesn't spot him at all! RB with 2, robbed of the 3rd, courtesy of Mako.
One enemy remaining.
Finally landing it, switching weapons and getting them all. A Prime Gaming flawless for DRX.
3-0 with the circus act from RB, juggling back and forth between the shotgun and the Vandals. And the follow-up for FUT. I mean, they used so much util at the beginning of that round. And yeah, they have a second wave. But they're literally repositioned from DRX's directly into that space that was cleared from FUT early on. When they used the aftershock, when they used that mosh in the back left of sight. FUT back down to pistols. Yes, they've had success, but you can't continuously rely on the thrifty rounds to come through.
No, that has to break eventually. And this might be where it breaks. Buzz going aggressive, looking to finish him off, as is DRX.
Down A. One enemy remaining.
And they're teed up for it. One away from another flawless. Buzz looking for the kill, and he's set up for it, but RB takes it. But another Prime Gaming flawless for DRX. Is there a 4-0?
That's crazy. I got to see the scoreboard here because it's got to look brutal for FUT. We got a glimpse of it. 3 kills total. 3 kills and 3 Prime Gaming flawlesses from DRX. Talk about a form shift. Maybe this was their playground the entire time. I've been saying this historically has been so good for DRX over and over and over. They come to maps against formidable teams and they make it really tough if not taking it. But they're only 3-3 this season on it. 50% win rate.
You wouldn't think it with how they've played these opening few rounds.
That's interesting. Maybe it's because Pacific knows their tendencies on this map.
Note here, Krax has his ult. And keep a close eye on that.
Great shot from RB. Instantly takes down the Dizzy.
And stays alive.
Stun and flash used to keep them in that position. RB's got to get off of sight to play retake now. Especially with the... Oh, he's going to... Hello?
He repositions and he's... What? He got cleared! Doesn't matter, FUT still gets what they want.
For the first time in that execute, looks like there's so much coming at you. There's so little to do if you're the player's backside except get off. I'm surprised they didn't make that decision.
Maybe a little overconfidence putting them in that situation. And yeah, the Thrash was well handled. But you couldn't possibly consider everything else.
Yeah, they just can't hear. I mean, the ground is rumbling, trembling at their feet. You have no clue what the situation is. You could tell they were looking frantic on the site, trying to find the players who are actually hitting close to them.
I wonder if here Zest is going to find any exits. Spotted one, and there's just 1 bullet fired. But the target now found, and Footer on the board.
Almost the final chance to stop that slow start, guys. Mentioned to gain some momentum back. Kiwis just literally on a path to follow up on that Thrash. Straight cutting through the site to follow it. Because you know, if you're right next to it, there's going to be spray into it at the very least. If they're not getting the detain, you're going to be following up on a player who hasn't reset his fire. Going to have to try to spray transfer you, which is completely unreliable.
Gun's still bound for DRX, and you see the money's set up for them to really put together multiple rounds.
Up in hands of Buzz too.
It seems like they're just clearing some of this utility in Garage. They don't get it all. You still see 1 nano on your screen. But it was just the alarm about the turret is still B, and the other nano is too. Know here with this hit, it's going to be really difficult to find space for the op in the hands of Buzz. Kiwi, he's already gotten the kill out onto Sax. And the defenses of DRX are crumbling. You see him trying to funnel out of the site, trying to flood their way through! But Zest with 2, and Mako does it as well. It seemed so labored, it seemed so difficult. But they convert.
That push in the A-Link. DRX just spray and spray away. Look at this. Out of Zest.
Wow.
And Mako. I mean, the thing there, I'd love to see that as from FUT's perspective. Because that Aftershock, I think, was probably obscuring their vision. That was their own Aftershock. In through the front of that link, they anticipate. And for him, it's going to be down short. Potentially an opportunity to find Mr. Fallen.
Yeah, Zest with the lineup, with the fault line to provide cover and allow him to take the angle, but the rest of the hits headed towards C, and RB greets him.
Now, FUT's been so focused on funneling and fragging into Garage.
Buzz still on this line for now.
The fact that RB able to get that against the Knives players, against Kiwi, it's crazy. And there's no follow-up because the Molly's perfect for him. And going back to that line, though, for Buzz, that, I think, is where they're going to end. Otherwise, Mr. Fallen's going to have to go on a crazy lurk, and he's going to get caught. Ooh, maybe not.
It was just the foot, and he doesn't land it. Pushed off of it for now. He's going to continue to explore. Meanwhile, once again, to hit towards B, and Stacks with the hold.
What a flash out of Mako, too, helping outside of Garage. And they know where Mr. Fallen was moments ago. Remember, Buzz had a little engagement with him. The thing is there's no flash to help. So Stacks is freely able to just walk into sight, and because of that fast pivot that they're trying to do, and especially with Mr. Fallen lurking at that point, he doesn't have a second smoke to cover both links at the same time. DRX is completely ripping them apart because of that.
And RB's gone hunting for it. With 13 seconds left, Mr. Fallen, you see the money. It's not great for him. He wants to preserve this weapon. Keep the Phantom into the next. There's no help, RB. It's just you here. Actually, that fault line from really far away is nice. That's well done. Another Prime Gaming Flawless for DRX. What is that, 4?
4.
Bob's coming back.
4. I mean, you keep counting, you might end up finding yourself the most in a half like this. Here's what I'm saying, though. Stacks, no util thrown his way at all. FUT, for this composition, you cannot start to rely on those dry fights that you saw a lot of on Bind.
Yeah.
Especially on attack. Maybe on defense, you can do a little bit more of that. Trying to find the defaulting players, isolated. Where's the shift in strategy here? It's like we're watching the ASC game all over again. They're going right back in to try to challenge RB, to try to break the util inside of Garage.
But DRX are ready for it. The paranoia, the stun. Kiwi's dead again.
That's like 3 times he dies first in the exact same thing, and it's the same lurk for Mr. Fallen. This time it might find value. Where's Zest?
Perfect.
Nothing.
Right in between the eyes.
It's desperation right now, too. It's like a delayed call to come into A. Mr. Fallen almost had the line in. And even when he dies, they continue forward. It won't let them the sight this time, but remember, the retake was perfect for DRX on this pistol. Oh, and they've got tools. Full house of ults.
Just wonder how much desperation FUT really feel here. Do they dare invest one of their ults in an attempt to secure this? It's such a difficult decision. You're down 5 rounds in an elimination map. Traded Buzz, dropped the weapon, you drop the op. Went for lighter weaponry, but it's Zest who cleans things up.
Yeah, he swapped it with Stacks, who's throwing util in the backline. That aftershock kill's too good, and Buzz dropping down actually completely locks him in there. It's kill or be killed. Actually, in that instance, it's kill and be killed. There's no way out.
Yeah.
This is flat from FUT once again, and just so strong from DRX. I mean, full credit to them to be able to show what they showed on Bind. Disjointed, no ideas, form missing. Mako's at the bottom of the leaderboard in that first half of Bind. Now to this. Everybody firing on all cylinders. And RB continuing that Neon form on Killjoy. The flex on this team. It's working greatly. There's finally a shift for FUT.
There are 2 on this side, but he's going to get smoked off. Remember, DRX still have 5 ults to their name. None of them invested in the previous round.
They might ult this, because they had control of short. And opt not to. Might be the Jet who got tagged, but Buzz here.
He's got the dash up. He's got the op in hand. Target's close by. Found. And he gets away. Looking for the second, not converted.
Nice play by Kiwi in the one-way. Buzz gives it to him. Showed a little leg. Slow things down though again, FUT. Gonna go for an execute.
Mosh pit. Almost exactly following the paranoia, and Sax is in trouble here. Has to reposition. And he does. Zest and Sax holding the site. Mako's there too! We're off the rails on this one. DRX are stomping FUT.
I think DRX stepped on this stage, lost that first map. And now they're looking at us and they're all saying, you really thought.
Y'all thought.
Y'all really thought. And it's funny because in that first game, well, I looked at them and it maybe looked dejected. It was definitely not the play.
Still 5 ults for DRX. They've had them for what feels like an eternity.
What is that TP? Are you kidding me?
Just by himself.
What? What is going on right now?
He did find 2 big ones, and that felt like I'm going to make a play. He did, but can they convert around it? Those pistols really don't feel like much.
Off your feet!
They're investing so much.
This game, I mean, this game might be over when Buzz just does some things like that, and also FUT is, what is that play? Yeah, Mr. Fallen, you get 2 kills, okay, sure. But what is this play? I mean, I like it. Actually, that's cool. The stun from A-Main off of the TP allows him to get those 2 kills. That's a detail that we missed. But I don't get the follow-up.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Why is there no push onto A if he's going for that? It's like you're trying to pull rotates, but the C players are about to rotate into B. If you're going to do that, you better go towards C in that case.
And not to mention, now they're on a gun round, and they don't have a Rolling Thunder to work around.
Oh, the Thrash is stunned. The ult coming out too. He might actually get tagged by that.
He's already gotten 1. Mr. Fallen from up top, and he's ripped right back down. And they still have 2 numbers here. That's well done by Kiwi. Get him to a 2v2. They don't have the spike though, it's out of reach. Can Kiwi creep his way forward? Trying to play around the crowd burst. Spike gathered, and it's just momentary. The stomp continues.
10-1 on the final map. And everybody rolling. DRX is not going to let this slip. DRX is not going to exit groups. Not like this. They're keeping this up for sure.
It's just so crazy to think about the juxtaposition we're seeing with FUT. And yeah, it's map dependent, I understand that, but in this series alone, it looks like 2 entirely different teams.
Yeah.
Get out of my way.
Might be a fast CXX here. Insta smoke on the window. Kiwi again going to send his life forward.
Nope, the last 3 rounds have been very fast, very pacey.
Does have space for this lockdown now. Out of Maj. But they're pushing in front.
They are, and you see the Jet try to take high ground. It's brought right back down. Once again by Mako. Pressure train to the skies as RB pushes in, gets 2 from Logs. Leaves Maj alone. 1v4 turns to a 1v3. Has the lockdown to play around. But way too many targets to deal with.
What a flash that was from Stax. for Mako and RB to do work. That is beautiful. That's what you expect from a DRX Haven. That's what you expect from a DRX in group stages. Where has this been? Maybe the sub, as heavily as it's been criticized, is exactly what they needed down the line in long term.
11-1 in favor of DRX, and the rest of this say something so definitive and so decisive.
I know,
like,
and it's everybody.
yeah, we're done, right? It's
Welcome
over.
to the post show. It's me, Timothy Williams with Esports Douglas. A pistol will close it out. FUT, EMEA's 3rd seed. We saw Na'Vi, the 4th seed, leave yesterday. And FUT right now on the precipice of doing just the same.
Another EMEA domino poised to fall. This one at the hands of DRX. RB taking the space, and you can see the intent for DRX. You had RB on one side, you had Buzz on the other, and they both find kills. Fully splitting things up, but Cracks nicely held. They're gonna try to get back in to get the spike of Buzz. What? How does he get away with that?
I love Buzz. That guy's crazy too. Okay.
That was well done. Kiwi never saw him.
He just came in on the flank. And Mosh was just spamming him through the wall that entire time. That's ridiculous. It's like he was tracking him. Yeah, you're right, Josh. Yeah, the smiles are there for the FUT players. They've already qualified for champs. Maybe that was a goal for them. But I can't help but think what I said at the beginning of the day, where that doesn't even feel like it's an achievement for them. Obviously, yes, it is over the grand scheme of things. Their season allowed for that. The fact that they're here at Tokyo, but was it really them? Who got them there? Yeah, they got the win, but you think Na'Vi should have gone much further.
Stacks focus on the turret. There are bigger fish to fry.
There's 2 marshals on an anti-eco right now. It's like we're playing ranked. And when you need to snowball the bonus, those sorts of things. That one is a head scratcher.
We had a couple of those. DRX cut noise and now push forward. RB falls.
Down A.
Off the paranoia. It's well handled though. This is still very doable. You're now just having Kiwi show up, but Captain holds him back with 4 on his own. Dashing forward into the ace. Oh, he almost had it. Still has the shot at the classic, and it delivers. Consolation prize, all things considered, but an ace nonetheless.
Captain gets crucial ace while down 11-3. It's an Navera moment with the cheering. And I don't know which one I want more, the knife coming out of Kiwi right here, or if I want the ace. He already got one. That would have been ridiculous. Okay. Look at this from FUT. We're getting in the round right now, and they're going super aggressive down middle. Aftershock through. Breach ult down mid.
Or,
Excuse me, they're in spawn and he's stunning them.
I mean, okay, they're rotating back.
Dude, that's
They're
map.
giving the space up.
I don't know why. They had them in spawn, every single player. I mean, if you ever want to illustrate the concept of map control, they would have had the entire map right there.
It's crazy too, because they invested as much as they did. And it's not just going to be equally exchanged.
I think they were having fun in that one. I think the initial execute, where they're aftershocking stuff, that stuff is definitely planned. They run that. That's a bonus round that they do. But then the breach ult is just crazy.
Off of what?
Stacks holding things nicely. Looked like he had just sidestepped that Captain's stun.
Yeah, he did. I was wondering where Captain's stun was off of, but he just randomly throws it and doesn't have the information about where Stacks is positioned, so he's in front of it.
Cracks up in heaven, looking for a life to take with him. Instantly smoked off. The spam not finding it. Mashos to push forward with this. Well done to handle Blaz. A Cracks 1v3 would be something special here. 1v2 now. tucking into smoke and then popping right back out, but the spike is becoming a factor. Time is not on his side, and neither is his health. DRX gets to 12.
Match point.
Probably the toughest group stage ever for DRX. Known as group stage demons. But they've got to figure something out. And this match looks like they have. 1 round away now, it's match point, it's series point. 1 round away from exiting groups, going over towards playoffs. 1 round away from sending FUT home.
It's crazy though, for FUT in the face of a beating so devastatingly defeating, still smiling.
Did you just spam it?
May have.
You just spammed it.
Yep.
Yeah, you see the bullet still on the wall. Like it's chalk outlining his body. They really think that they're pushing down mid, just like they did on that bonus. Cool little spam too from RB in the case that that was true. DRX is not taking this any differently than they have before. Not allowing this lead to slip whatsoever, I think. Is in their best interest, so this is the classic C exec. DRX has been running this forever. It's so good. Buzz has so many different lines he can take. And they just go for the basic. There's nobody even here to receive. Kiwi has a judge.
Okay. Buzz down. That's a start.
Playing the post off of Stacks Rolling Thunder. Mr. Fallen has smoke here though, so I'm not fully sure if I completely agree with the idea right now.
Where's Zest? He has a shock too.
Especially how close they are.
Smoked off. Mako playing up close in Cubby. RB with the nano. So it's now 3 pieces of utility to consider. The Rolling Thunder, the Shock Dart, and the nano. They're going to get it the whole way. Oh, the nano, half. There's the Rolling Thunder, pushing him forward. The fight taken. So far, the fight won. Kitsap won. That would have been a finish. But alas, we play another.
They were both stunned up. I don't know how that stun was thick. That thing was thicker than Josh's mustache. That thing was crazy. And you saw the spam there, RB with the nano. That thing came really late too.
Those Mosh heroes are insane. Just to even get them to that point.
And also that breach ult coming from Stacks. He rotated Garage rather than getting a head-on breach ult that will hit everybody.
Kiwi's through and short. And there's help with him. Dodge the paranoia. Well done.
It's a low buy here from DRX. Knives of Buzz, though, could put an end to this thing, and they might just do that.
Just now taking damage after getting 2 kills. Are the knives what decide the series? This broken buy is broken no longer. They've all upgraded weapons. At this point, FUT feeling like they're 6 feet under and just waiting for the final procession to close things up, and that's exactly what it's going to be. Cracks pushing forward. The Blade's not doing it, but Stacks does. DRX obliterate FUT and punch their ticket to playoffs.
It was labored.